It's not how.
Yeah, that's how it works. If you take your helicopter, the chopper, go up to a pretty high altitude where the atmosphere is supposed to be thinner and thinner, allegedly, and try to overcome the momentum from the spin. Yeah.
Do you know what momentum is?
Hover in one place. Yeah, that you're the momentum you conserved.
No, you don't. You don't. So
Yeah, that you had when you were on the ground in the first place.
yeah. Okay. So
Yeah, but you're a helicopter pilot, right?
So it's going to be fuck all if you answer my question.
Look, the flat earthers don't understand. I don't understand. How does that not work? In our minds, we're like, okay, spinning object underneath.
That's not a great argument, Chemo, in your mind or in a flat earther's mind. Is not a good argument.
Yeah, but that's how we see it.
Because you don't understand stuff.
Okay. Yeah, but that's what we're trying to figure out. We're like, if something's moving underneath us, and then we jump.
Shut up, Chemo.
Yeah, I get it. There's like a little bit of momentum that will push you with the rotation.
Jump in a train. Jump in the back of a ute. Same. Momentum is already imparted on that object.
No. What we figured out is if you take a helicopter and put it on the front of a train, mark X, then the train.
So you figured this out, but no other helicopter pilot has.
No.
Pause.
Mark X.
And you're not a helicopter pilot, Chemo, are you? Or any flat earther?
Mark X on the front of the plane, not on the plane, on the train. Take your helicopter, you land it on the front carriage, top of the front carriage. Then you hover above that X, and the train will move. Won't land on that X base.
No, it won't. No, it's exactly the same as when helicopters land on ships. You know, and then they take off from a ship. The momentum of the ship is already imparted on the helicopter. So if you take off and hover, you'll be directly above the ship. You know, if you were to remove, the wind and everything else out of it, other forces.
Yeah, but the boat will move.
We talk about the force. It triggers flat earthers. It used to trigger flat earthers so much. The fictional force.
Yeah, but Jazz is the helicopter pilot. He's experienced the Earth moving underneath him.
Why? How's it different to jumping on a train or an aeroplane flying from A to B? Why is a helicopter different?
Not an aeroplane, a helicopter.
This is fucking sad. Chemo, you had to go all the way back to 2015 because you don't understand how helicopters work.
We've been confused about this point for ages.
It's a new material, man. Come on.
It's one of those puzzles that you're like, what's the answer to that puzzle?
No, it's been explained to you fucking ad nauseum, Chemo.
Yeah, but it's one of the longest running puzzles that we've probably had.
Well, I can't help it that you have a comprehension problem, but this shit's been explained to you ad nauseum, and to bring up and bring back 2015, this is even sad for you.
Yeah,
it's like an old riddle.
Salesman stuff, dude.
Well said.
You're doing the Nathan Oakley.
It's like an old riddle. See? A riddle that was never figured out.
No, again, it was explained to you.
It's like one of them mathematical equations that you can get $1 million if you figure out.
I'm gonna need a source.
It's not. It's a $20 question that was explained to you ad nauseum.
Oh no! This is a $1 million question.
Yeah. No, it's a $20 question of how helicopters work in reality.
Okay, what's the answer then? The riddle.
Emo, do the feather and the hammer thing. Come on, let's do the feather and the hammer.
We'll get to that. We'll go
on the moon.
We're on rotation at the moment. So, let's go through it then, Pure. What's the answer to this riddle? Why doesn't the helicopter hover?
Rich literally 5 minutes ago just explained it to you, but you were talking over his answer.
Yeah, but I gave a rebuttal. I said we put an X on top of the train.
No, you didn't. A rebuttal isn't. We don't know how they work.
That's not my rebuttal. Mark X on top of the train. No, it's not. It's you mark X on top of the train. You mark O on the back of the train at the top carriage. So you're trying to land on the O, right? How can we land on the O if we're now on the X? Possible.
lift off and set down on the O.
Perfect.
It's powered flight.
Exactly. Welcome to stationary Earth.
Dude, that answer doesn't support you whatsoever.
Right, now,
taking off,
let's do the
flying
same thing.
over and landing on O.
No. Let's do the same.
Doesn't fucking help you.
Yes, you just said X on the front, O on the back. We go up, we land on the O. But we're not going to move. We're going to stay in one place. We're going to go up, have the train move underneath us.
Oh, then you would stay above the X the entire time.
No, not if the train's moving underneath.
But using this.
You've just realised, haven't you?
Using no, I haven't realized. You haven't let me get more than a half a word out before you fucking interrupt.
Go on there.
Using a train, all right, is kind of fucking stupid. Because the Earth rotates at so if you move this train at 0.000694 RPMs, the O will never ever reach you.
No, well, actually, if we hover above the train will move underneath the helicopter.
Dude,
Not at 15 degrees per hour.
And don't say helicopters. Don't say it. Just don't say
Helicopter.
Why is the helicopter unique, Chemo,
Because the helicopter
compared to any other powered flight?
It debunks Earth
Or
rotation.
anything.
No, it doesn't.
Earth rotation.
The Earth's rotation is 0.000694 revolutions per minute. All right, 1 revolution per day.
Let me give you an example.
You're trying to what you're doing, Chemo, is comparing two different things. So a train moving 60 miles an hour that's already in motion as something that's rotating once a day. This doesn't debunk anything. The effects from winds. You act like helicopters aren't subjected to wind and vibration and shit like that. How long do you expect this helicopter to hover above an X that's moving 15 degrees per hour?
You gonna let me respond without interrupting now?
You pay the same respect, yeah. I'll let you.
I didn't interrupt you once. Then I'll let you finish.
If you answer my questions, because there was questions proposed to you.
What's the question? You're making just statements.
No, I didn't. Actually, I asked a question. How long do you expect a helicopter that's subjected to wind and vibration and motion to hover above an X that's rotating at 15 degrees per hour?
Yeah, I'm about to answer it. I don't have an exact number, but I have an example. Okay?
Well, maybe you should come up with a number, because that's what I asked.
I don't have any numbers.
Well, I thought Flat Earth had the facts, the figures, and the numbers.
On a particular on this one.
No, that's not what you said. You didn't say on particular subjects.
Yeah. So when we're talking about a particular subject.
So why don't you have... No, you said Flat Earth has the facts, the figures, and the numbers. You didn't say in a particular subject, the Flat Earth has facts, figures, and numbers. You made a blanket statement covering everything.
That's what was meant by it.
Well, then maybe say what you mean to me when you say. Don't...
Well, sometimes we can infer things out before me.
Well, that's not what you meant. We know what you meant.
No, that's what you thought I meant.
If the conductor farts on the train driver farts, the people at the back of the train don't immediately smell it.
Okay.
While it's travelling.
Okay, so my example is going to blow you away. Okay, this will prove absolutely the Earth is turning on. So, we go to the beach, the shoreline, and we mark X on the floor. Got a helicopter over that X, and at the same time, we can see the sun setting, or it's just about to set, or it's still a ball, but it's near the horizon. It hasn't set yet. Now, as that sun goes down, Earth is meant to be turning away. So we can rise the helicopter and have the sun go down. So as we see the sun go down, we should have the Earth turning underneath us. The Earth is turning. So
yeah, but the helicopter already had the motion imparted on it before it took off.
Well, I mean, again, if he's looking at the sun, it's not connected to the Earth just like the sun. Once it's
does the sun move away from you, or does it set?
How is the sun connected to the Earth? What are you talking about?
The Earth is meant to move away from the sun, roll away, or backwards.
What, in its orbit, or?
Yeah, as the sun goes down, it's not the sun moving, is it? It's the Earth meant to be.
Oh no! Now the sun goes down. This flat Earth shit's confusing because I mean, first the
sun is actually setting pure. Yeah, that's what Chemo just said.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
You heard it here. The sun goes down. Yeah, it doesn't just fade away in the distance due to perspective.
So
thank you, Chemo.
Is the Earth moving or the sun's moving?
No, thank you, Chemo. You just debunked yourself.
Yeah, I'm talking about your model.
No, you're not. You're talking about your model.
No, I'm talking about the sun moving away from you. That means the sun.
No, you're not. You said the sun sets and goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what happens?
In your fantasy world?
What happens in reality?
In reality, the sun sets bottom up due to the rotation of the Earth. But in your fantasy model, it should never go disappear bottom. It should fade away into the distance, which we never ever fucking see ever.
Yeah, and there shouldn't be a horizon either.
Yeah. On a flat Earth, there is a horizon, an apparent horizon.
No.
But my point is that once the sun is setting, or appears to set, you and the helicopter should have the
it sets in reality, Chemo. It should be going away from you. You should be talking, in reality, it should be moving away from you and disappearing into, a point it should never, ever set.
And Chemo, my point is...
This should all happen at the same time. So as you hover, and the
sun
is going down... The Earth should be moving under both objects.
You don't have a point. You got nothing. See ya.
We've got a stationary Earth. That's what we have.
No, you got nothing.
Well, no. The fact that I can watch the sunset bottom up, and if I'm at a really tall building or a hotel, something like that, I can take an elevator up to the top floor.
Yeah.
And watch the sun set, never disappearing into a point at a distance. I can watch it set. In reality, bottom up.
Not the actual sun.
No, the actual sun. I can watch the actual sun bottom set.
If it's not the actual sun, what is it?
It's the apparent.
You're watching the fake sun. Duh.
You're watching the apparent sun.
The apparent sun.
Yes, now you understand.
The visible sun, because that's what apparent means.
No.
Timo still doesn't understand conservation of momentum anyway.
It's not actually actual.
Timo, you're watching your parents' son.
Yeah, it's very apparent. It's visible that,
No, it's like the horizon, the apparent horizon. It's not physical.
Well, no, the apparent horizon is the visible horizon, Chemo. Like you guys have perverted what apparent means. Like it's
like apparent acceleration.
No, it's
You
like
don't know, you
apparent
know
how much of a.
Right, so just shut the fuck up.
Hang on, but it's not accelerating.
It's like apparent deviation. It appears to curve,
it's a constant
but actually it's
velocity.
going in a straight line, right?
No, visible deviation. Yeah, it's very apparent.
Yeah, it appears to be curving, but it's not actually curving. It's going in a straight line.
No, it's very visible. Like that, I'm telling you the definition of apparent, and you perverting what apparent means. Like oh yeah, like curve. Good example. Like how apparent it is that you're a cunt.
Yeah, but it's not actual, is what I'm getting at.
Well, no, you're an actual cunt. You're visibly a cunt.
Both. You're apparent and actual.
Chemo.
So just like you have apparent obstruction when things disappear bottom first, it's not actual obstruction.
Chemo, you dumb cunt. You say that you don't believe in the Big Bang.
It's also like the apparent position of boats or mountains or objects in the distance. The apparent position. It's not the actual position.
Okay.
When you see a boat floating in the air, it's not its actual position. Any deviation is not any actual deviation. Any obstruction is not actual. Is apparent obstruction.
How do we get to this when we're talking about momentum?
Any forces you have are apparent forces, not actual forces. Any acceleration are apparent accelerations. Horizon also is apparent.
Chemo, have you been in a car?
If you're going to be an asshole, Chemo, I'm going to get real deep on you. You don't believe in the Big Bang, but you came here on this earth from a Big Bang. Excuse the pun. I'm sorry.
I compiled a list of apparent effects or models.
I don't know if you understand my equation.
No,
you have apparent equations, not actual equations.
Well, it is an actual equation. You come here from a Big Bang.
Like the 3959 is not an actual measurement; it's an apparent measurement. Yeah.
No, it's actually a measurement.
Well, who actually measured it then?
Chemo, you were nothing.
Who's actually measured 3959?
And you came here from a Big Bang, so shut the fuck up.
The radius is just an apparent radius, not an actual.
Chemo, you came here from some dude's nutsack, is what he's getting at. Come on now. You came from nothing, now you're here. Big Bang.
What's up,
explaining
Gypsy?
to Pure here that the apparent.
Hold on, I got a funny story about yesterday.
The apparent position of the sun, not actual. The apparent sun that you're looking at.
It's visibly there.
Not according to the model, Pure.
Well, no, according to the model, it's visibly there.
No, it's actually already set, and you're looking at the apparent, and not the actual.
It's still visibly there. It's apparently right fucking there.
Yeah, but it's not. That's the truth.
Well, no, it's visibly right there, and perverting the definition of apparent.
Well, how do you know you're not looking at an illusion?
How come you're looking at an illusion?
That's what my point
is. Your whole worldview is an illusion.
You've got to measure it.
I can measure it. I can measure it.
What, to the sun? How are you going to measure to the sun?
Yeah, to the sun, its angular size in the sky.
Go on then.
Let's
see that being done. Oh,
it's already been done. And I don't feel like going to Stanford University to go do it.
I'm gonna be fucking pissed if you spam me against this fucking dumb cunt.
I mean, he's making no sense anyway. Let's just ignore him, I reckon.
Pull the chute.
Eject. Because, I mean, we went from talking about momentum and his misunderstanding of that and helicopters to the Earth turning away from the sun or some fucking shit like that. No. He's just a troll.
I'd love to remember what a mate of mine said the other night, it wasn't as dumb. It was better than a dumber bag of nails. It was fucking so way better than that.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask him and bring it back. Fuck, it was good. Anyway, we'll catch us later. Cheers.
See you later.
Catch up.
Hey, you Pure?
I am doing wonderful. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, good man. Yeah, haven't heard you for a while. I guess I haven't been here much. So, you got a different microphone or something?
Oh yeah. Different earpiece.
Yeah, fair enough. Because at first I'm like, who's this guy? Are you still operating machinery, or?
Yep, I'll probably be doing that to the day I die.
Fair enough. For the same company still, or what?
No, I'm doing a project for a different company, doing some drilling pads.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We go quiet again.
It's allowed to. Chris, good point, because you don't add up, 68 and 50,000 and say, well,
Chris
I
is
make
not even talking. What you doing? He's not even in the
$100,000 a
room.
year. I'm sorry, Chemo.
Chris is
fuck
not
off.
even in the room, Pure. Can't hear you.
Oh, is someone talking about me? What, you don't fucking understand that I'm like 30? I've had a house, I sold a house, I fucking paid off the mini, paid off all my other shit, made a bunch of other money on the side, and
Hey,
now I got this fucking
Gypsy.
Dodge Challenger where I put
How
money
do you
down. I don't even
know?
thank you
How do you know that
so
the
like,
Earth is?
step your game
Can you hear
up.
me, Gypsy? How do you know the Earth?
Haters.
How do you
What
know
up,
the
Kimo?
Earth is moving?
Nobody's hating.
Gypsy?
Nobody gives a fuck.
What about flat Earth?
Nobody cares about your keys, Gypsy.
That's nice. I don't care.
Nobody cares about your Mr. T starter pack.
It is what it is. Oh, it's good. That's actually good. Okay, that's good.
So look, Gypsy.
I know it was.
Do you have any evidence of Earth rotation, Earth movement?
Do you have any evidence of it being flat?
Yes,
Dude,
absolutely.
I was just about to do my laundry and shit. Why'd you get me sucked in here? Like, I can't bring this fucking...
On a flat Earth, you would have an apparent horizon, not a physical geometric horizon.
Oh, God. Where's
That's proof of a flat Earth because it means there's no tangent point with that apparent horizon, you see?
What would cause the apparent horizon on a flat Earth?
What's the cause? That's the ground ramping up and the sky converging down, giving you...
I'll just show you one thing, and then I'm going to go do my laundry. Okay, you see this GIF? Watch this GIF. Why don't we see this? Okay, next question. I mean, I got to do my shit anyway. Peace.
Is that Earth rotation? What is that? Apparent rotation. What's all this shit? Yeah, so... No evidence that the Earth actually moved. But in terms of flat Earth, you
haven't finished the horizon.
Yeah. In terms of the horizon, on a flat Earth, you would have an apparent horizon, not a geometric.
And again, why? Why and where? What determines that?
Perspective, dude. Now
Tell me more.
It's a mix. It's a mix of perspective. What's that thing? There's diffraction.
No.
The diffraction limit.
Hey, I'm not at Chemo's Cafe. I didn't order a word salad. I want an explanation. Tell me how this works.
It's not that difficult to understand. It's not really a long-winded conversation. It's just like...
Apparently it's difficult to explain because you're unable to do so.
So, ground appears to rise up, yeah? You understand that part?
Yeah, and I know why.
yeah, because your eyes aren't a fucking accurate instrument.
What do you mean you know why? It's not actually rising up.
That's correct. Yeah, up, not. So what?
It appears to slope up, gradual, like, yeah?
Well, it can. Depends on the situation. Normally, things that are farther away from you due to there's mathematical explanations that are very simple that explain this, but you're simpler than they are, so I can't use them to explain it to you because you're only an apparent. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah. But
so why on flat Earth does this happen? And what controls how far away that horizon appears?
It's no distance. It can be any distance, like close as a mile, I guess, and as far as who knows, as far as you like, really, depending on the atmosphere. So that's why people are able to see a lot.
What does the atmosphere do to form a horizon on a flat surface? If it's the atmosphere, that's gonna basically create what you're calling a horizon by obscuring the surface beyond, giving you this like more and more and more hazy obstruction, I'll call it for now. But that's not what we typically see. Standing out at the shore, there's no reason for a sharp water horizon in your vision.
Exactly.
If that's due to this gradual obscuration by opaque moisture decks and things of that apparent fucktard nature.
Yeah, but should just fade away into the distance, right?
You've got the train tracks appearing to converge.
Right. And it's better to burn out than to fade away.
I don't see how this is difficult.
You don't see anything.
Very simple. The ground rises up, the sky converges down, drops down, or the appearance.
No, it appears to. You said it appears to.
Appears to.
Like train tracks appear to converge, even though they're parallel.
Yeah, it's just an apparent convergence.
An apparent convergence, not an actual.
The train doesn't get smaller.
It doesn't crush the people in the train the farther it gets away from you. Did you know that?
No, they just appear. It's an apparent convergence.
Right, we understand this.
Okay, so the ground and the sky appear to not actually. You know what I mean?
That's not a worthwhile point. It's not even a point. It's just blather. You're just
it's
saying
pretty
random
bad.
things.
I haven't been here a lot, but Chemo's not getting any better, is he? Far out.
I mean, it makes perfect sense on a flat Earth.
No, it doesn't.
No, you can't have a flat Earth and things making sense, Chemo.
Yeah,
exactly.
Using globe geometry.
Using any geometry.
Yeah, I don't think you can
that's kind of the point.
You can't use geometry because the atmosphere fluctuates.
Yeah, and we can account for it as well.
Can't account for it. It's not physical. You need a physical curvature to account for it.
What do you mean the atmosphere is not physical?
No, the horizon's not physical.
So
supernatural atmosphere.
Yeah. So you're not breathing the atmosphere at the moment? Is it not physical, Chemo?
Not breathing the horizon, are you?
No, that's not what I said.
That's what we're talking about.
You said the atmosphere. You said the atmosphere is not physical.
The horizon.
And I asked you. No, you said the atmosphere is not physical.
I said the horizon's not.
Okay. Anyone got a soundbite?
So that's the general idea.
There is a physical horizon for sure, but you know what you see. Yeah, more than likely is apparent, depending on refraction and things like that. But at the end of the day, you know, conditions are good, clear day.
Yeah,
it's a solid line. So why would you have a solid horizon on a flat Earth?
Oh, that's just an illusion.
When you're within an atmosphere.
So any obstruction, like water, just an apparent obstruction, natural.
Okay, so if you look at a building that obstructs your eyesight, is that just an apparent building?
No, apparent obstruction.
Okay, but a building or a mountain, are they all apparent?
Let's say, basically, we have direct line of sight to the bottom of that building.
You're not answering the question, Chemo. Standard.
Yeah, I've just said to you it's an apparent obstruction.
Okay, so like a building that obstructs your vision.
Yeah.
Or a mountain that's obstructing your vision. Is that apparent?
No, that's
that's physical, but the horizons that obstruct your vision is apparent. But everything else that obstructs your vision isn't apparent.
Yeah, if it's the horizon in and around there, that's just apparent.
Yeah, because it has to be the horizon because that supports your narrative.
Well, you can't.
Everything else is like
you can't make physical measurements to the horizon.
What do you mean you can't?
No one's ever made physical measurements to the horizon.
And define physical measurement?
Like your mountain.
I don't even know why I'm having this conversation. Like stepping it out with a fucking measuring tape.
Your mountain is physical. You make a physical measurement to your mountain, not to the horizon.
Yep. Okay. So what about radar?
What about it?
Well, there's a horizon on the radar.
I need to back up. I had an epiphany regarding apparent obstruction, as in it's only apparent obstruction. It only appears to be obstructed. So since it's only an apparent obstruction and not actual obstruction, you really can see it. It only appears that you can't see it. That's what Chemo is saying. The man's a genius. Doesn't everybody understand this? It only appears obstructed. You can see it.
I mean, I don't want to.
Yeah, because
you want to stand behind that, Chemo.
Well, thank you.
Do you really want to go down in history as the man who made this stupid claim?
I mean, look, I get called all sorts. You know, genius. One of them, and
that was sarcasm.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
No, that's the logical outcome of what you're saying when you're saying it's only apparent obstruction.
Yeah.
Yes.
At this point in time, we almost need to ask Chemo, like, why do you see things? Or why is something obstructed? So why can't you see something, Chemo?
Because it's obstructed.
Okay, and so something's blocking something else, right?
Yeah.
And why can you see things?
Not obstructed.
Right. But you can see things because why?
Because it's not obstructed.
No. Even just look at your desk or your computer or your phone, whatever you're doing. Why can you see that?
Because there's no obstruction in the way.
They're obstructed.
That's part of it. I'm just trying to get to the point that the photons hit your eyes, right? And the only reason why you can't see it is, yeah, you're right. There's obstruction. There's something physically blocking.
Show me a photon.
Oh, what? No.
No? Okay.
We're not fucking changing the subject, man.
Carry on.
Show you a photon.
Mm-hmm. Carry on.
Serious?
Carry on with your story.
Photons don't exist because you can't show me a photon, but you can see Chemo. The reason why you can see is because photons are hitting your fucking cones or your rods in the fucking retina of your eye, right?
You just say you said, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you say
so, photons don't exist. That's where this is going. So
it's your
even
claim.
beyond
I ask you to show me a
the horizon is apparent, because it's apparent because that's what we see, but photons don't exist.
I never claim they do or they don't. I ask you to show me one.
Well, you can see it.
You can see the photons.
That's kind of fucking part of eyesight, right?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm asking you. You're saying that you can see photons.
Well, you can see, can't you?
Dude, land on the outskirts of an airport outside a hangar, and then we'll call what's his handle up, and we'll see, because then we won't have to do the old fucking escape hangar velocity shit. We'll just be able to ask him real shit in real time.
So yeah, I mean, it's very, very simple. Things.
No, is it? Yeah. Your mind is simple, Chemo. That's about all. That's what all it's coming down to.
Things obstructed at the horizon are experiencing a apparent obstruction, and we know
it's not even a thing.
Yeah, well, the horizon may or may not be where it appears due to refraction. But I mean, it still obstructs the sun, the ships, fucking everything else. So it is there, exactly the same as a building or a mountain.
Chemo,
the horizon's not measurable.
And Chemo, for the exact reason that I was just saying that I'm not interested in.
It's not geometrical, you see.
Exactly. You just said it. You just said it with your own words.
Yeah, but Jizza, if it's not geometrical,
it is actually measurable.
You just said it in your own words, and that's why I'm using your own words to prove you wrong, you dumb fuck.
Right, Jizza. Who has measured the geometric horizon?
It's been measured numerous times, and we're going to do it again.
And to be honest,
this stupid conversation by say something very, very clear and concise, like if we look around us, we see the geometry of our vision. That geometry is a circle. That is geometry. Therefore, it's a geometric fucking horizon. No.
Yeah, and also too, I was going to say, like, weather radar.
Nobody's making actual measurements to the horizon.
No, but you can, right? So, at a particular altitude, I know that the weather radar is a 5-degree beam, right? and I can tilt that radar down until I get ground return.
Exactly.
And the ground return matches the geometric horizon if you were to do the math. So it's not apparent at all. It's physically the radar hitting the ground.
And we
getting ground return
to get weather all the time.
That's Alan's argument. He's an ex-radar operator, and he made it about 3 years ago on Jose's 2 kilo.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
Look, just because somebody runs around saying, "Oh, I'm Superman, I can fly," doesn't mean that they're Superman, they can fly. Just because somebody says they're sending radar and lasers and beams all over around the ball, doesn't mean they're actually doing it. You've got to be able to demonstrate that Superman can fly. You've got to be able to demonstrate that somebody's measuring curvature. And you've got to be able to demonstrate that these radars are doing what you say they do.
Dipshit, paranoid asshole. It's got nothing to do with fucking flying. I don't know what the fuck you're on.
It's about measurements,
Jesus. As well, because I mean, we have actual examples of radar and we use them every day. And Superman is a fictional character that we have no practical or physical evidence for. So I think he's done a category.
Well, there's no physical evidence of anybody making measurements with radar or lasers.
Well, you claim that, but you don't know it.
Radio signaling.
Yeah, no one's done it, except like. Pilots do it pretty regularly with their weather radar just to make, if there's any issue that we think, there's an issue with the stabilization function on the weather radar.
About measuring the curvature. Who's done that?
That's what I'm saying.
We're talking about weather. We're talking about measuring curve.
So we're at 38,000 feet. I know the radar's got a 5-degree beam. If I tilt it down X amount of degrees and I pick up ground return at 250 miles, nautical miles, then I know the stabilization's good and there's something else potentially wrong with the radar, right?
But that's your altitude. That's not your height, though, is it? Because altitude and height are not necessarily equal factors.
No, that is true, but it's generally close enough.
Yeah, but most pilots, they fly without even thinking about if the Earth is flat or not. You're not thinking about that, though.
You speaking? There's at least 2 pilots here. One a helicopter, one fixed wing.
Yeah, but you're not considering if the Earth is flat. Most pilots don't.
Well, no, because a flat Earth doesn't work.
It sounds like there's a lot of consideration about the globe going on by the 2 pilots here at the moment, Chemo. So unless you've gone and interviewed all the other pilots to know their position on it, I don't think you can say they consider it or not. I think these 2 guys definitely do. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here trying to articulate why they think it's a globe.
The measurements were.
Can I remind you of your stuff,
if
mate?
If anyone were to try and measure curvature, you would find that it's not possible. Because you can't measure curvature on a flat surface.
Oh,
you see?
But unfortunately, Chemo, that we do measure.
But we can measure curvature with
curve.
I was actually asking the pilot.
It's been done to you repeated times.
I was actually asking the pilot.
Saying the same thing. It's boring.
Hey, Chemo, do you know that a helicopter pilot is the best guy to measure curvature because they land on a fucking square fucking oil rig platform?
Well, I'm trying to ask you 2 pilots, who is making measurements of curvature?
I'm not making up the math for you. You're the smart guy. You're the smartest guy on the fucking planet Earth. So
thank you. But who?
We got big dick Chemo on the corner here. Chemo, you got one long schlong there. Yeah. When you shit, your dick touched the water.
Thank you. But look, more importantly, is nobody's measuring curve. Why?
Chemo, I'm not into that shit. I'm into your long schlong dong with the big fucking candy cane wrapped around it, dragging it out into the fucking Gulf of Mexico. Come up with what the fuck you were talking about.
The question is, Gisette, why can't curvature be measured on this flat plane?
Ken, you're the only one that's saying that it can't.
dumb.
How do you measure the curvature of
on a
a
flat
balloon?
plane?
Be, you dumb fucking.
How do you measure the curvature on a flat plane?
asshole.
Well, you can't because it's fucking flat already.
There you
right?
go. So nobody's measured the curvature.
No, but they have, and I just said like radar.
It's
like
done every fucking
like
day,
works.
you dumb fucking asshole.
Just name one person in the world who's measured a little bit of curvature. Itty bitty tiny bit.
Everybody
I
thinks
told
that
you
Jazza,
how I can calculate it with the weather radar.
spokesman for the globe. Jazza will be the only glober here to speak. He is commandeered the microphone.
We've got two pilots. We've got two pilots, Curve.
So if you have something you want to get out, DM it to Jazza, please.
We have two pilots. They're both. We've got an airplane guy, helicopter guy. Both haven't thought about the Earth being flat. That's what most pilots do. They don't consider the Earth is flat, that they're flying over.
How much can they view, Chemo, of the Earth? What percentage of the Earth can they view?
Oh, just a wee bit. I would say less than 1%.
Wow, less than 1%. So just by going off a view of less than 1%, you're gonna determine the shape of something that you can't see 99% of. You understand how big that is too? If they're up there, way the fuck up there, and they're only seeing 1%, doesn't that say something?
I would introduce science at this point.
Chemo, by the way, so main surveyor Jesse Kozlowski, Soundly, those three people have measured curvature.
All based on assumptions.
No,
They have to assume that the Earth is curving and the horizon is at this location.
So how do you explain the pictures and the GPS coordinates?
Again, all based on the assumption.
No. But the picture is the evidence, right? Like the Soundly takes.
Oh,
you can see the curve, and the GPS that Jesse took, shows the curve as well, right?
We can replicate.
There's no assumptions there. They are, Yeah,
but how we
and a measurement.
Yeah, but the way we get down and do stuff is if we see an observer.
Well, you don't do stuff though.
Yeah.
Like you haven't even answered why the horizon is a solid line on a clear day.
I'm just on about Soundly at the moment. If we see Soundly's observation, that to us, flat earthers, is an observed phenomena in nature. See?
Yeah, that's repeatable.
Understand?
Anyone can do it.
Exactly. So we can repeat Soundly's...
Except for you.
We can repeat that on a flat surface and show...
No, you can't.
It's been replicated. It's probably
show us.
It's probably one of the most debunked.
Show us the picture, Chemo.
Globe earthers.
Yep. You can repeat it on a flat Earth. Show us.
No, just on a flat table.
Oh yeah, where the camera's below the table.
Chemo, you've forgotten the thing to pilots, mate. You've totally forgotten it. Can't believe you haven't brought it up yet.
What about the pilots?
Oh, geez. See, I'll play the flat earther. See, we all know that pilots have to keep their nose down to follow the curvature of the Earth, don't they? But they don't, so therefore the Earth is flat.
No, there's no physical horizon to do that.
Oh, there's no physical.
The question is, do pilots have to nose down to keep up with curve?
On the moon, they would, yeah, because there's real curve.
On the moon? What? We're not flying airplanes on the moon. It has no atmosphere, you dickhead.
No. I'm just saying. Well, that's a good point. But if you were flying around the moon, you would nose down.
We're not flying around the moon, Kimo. Answer the question. Flying around Earth.
Yeah, around Earth.
You pilots have to keep pitching the nose down.
No, because you just fly around the pizza.
Okay, so we have to keep banking left or right.
Yes. No. You can go in straight lines.
Hang on.
You can go in straight lines.
Oh, can you?
Yeah. Let me get you.
No, but if you go in a straight line,
it's like a pizza cutter. Like if you want to go from one side of the pizza to the other with the pizza cutter, you go in a straight line when you cut your slices, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Here's the map.
When the pizza cutter is going from Sydney to Santiago, why doesn't it cut by LA before it gets to Sydney?
So from Australia to...
We're not exactly sure where all the toppings are, Curve.
Yeah, it goes straight over the North
he's
Pole.
telling me he's flying in straight lines.
Yeah.
So if you're going in a straight line on that from Sydney to Santiago, you're going by LA. But
what?
You can get to Santiago. You get from Sydney to Santiago faster than you can get from Sydney to LA.
Yeah.
How is it you get to the end point sooner than you can get to the world is called a midpoint?
Because they're deceiving you, dude. They're deceiving you. They use faster planes for that one, and then slower planes and longer routes for the other one. Duh.
Oh, so how fast are these planes, Chemo?
Yeah, Chemo knows.
How what?
Chemo has evidence for this. Chemo has verified this.
Yeah, and there will be no evidence.
There's supercalifragilistic cruisers.
Even flying a straight line, right? If it's an AE map that Chemo's talking about, that's going to be a fucking head fuck to fly a heading, or even a track, because your track's going to be.
Or they've got that those streams that they can go on to go faster.
Yes, streams like jet streams.
Jet streams
that they go on.
That's the one.
Okay, so what about helicopters or light aircraft that fly at low altitude that use a spherical Earth and make corrections on their map for navigation, right? They aren't in jet streams, but they can still navigate from point A to point B fine.
Look at this map. This is your world. This is where you live. This is where...
mate, looking at that map, I'll look at the distance from Melbourne, where I'm at, driving to Perth. It would take me probably a year and a half to drive that distance.
No, you
That's
don't know that.
That's an incredibly massive distance.
No.
You don't know that because you haven't done it.
Yeah, you haven't done that. Just wild stories.
I've done it, and it's not that distance. That distance is enormous.
It's about 3 times LA to New York.
These are just going off a made-up model. You haven't measured these places yourself. You haven't travelled them yourself.
That's not accurate.
We have, because if we didn't, we'd run out, like aeroplanes.
Yeah, they've sent you on a merry-go-round.
They would run out of fuel, Chemo.
Oh, Chemo, are you up to your shenanigans again?
Why?
I like it.
Why is Druss muted? Did you mute him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to be unmuted.
Oh, yeah, that was... Yeah, I forgot.
Did you forget, Chemo?
I did, yeah.
He muted me for absolutely no reason.
No, there was valid. You were interrupting.
Shut up, Chemo, I'm actually taking a turn.
I was talking to Rich about the pilot. She jumped all over it. Then you were like, let's change subject. This is boring. Let's move on to something else in the middle of this discussion.
Yeah, it's a subject that you've addressed like a dozen times with all these people. It's boring. I'm allowed to have an opinion on the topic. It doesn't mean you
but you don't have to cut in the conversation in the middle of it to say, let's change the subject.
You're not allowed an opinion on the server anymore, Chemo.
In the middle of someone else's conversation.
Can I not have an opinion?
In the middle of someone else's conversation.
As part of it, can I not say when you're discussing...
It wasn't part, it was in the middle.
Can't we talk about something new?
It was in the middle of a back and forth.
Don't you have anything new, Timo? That's all I said.
It was in the middle of something back and forth. You decided, I've had enough of this. Let's change the subject. This is boring.
I have an opinion. Am I not allowed an opinion here, Timo?
In the middle of someone else's discussion.
Am I not allowed an opinion?
Are you saying you want your opinion?
Let's vote on it.
Are you saying you want your opinion in the middle of someone else's discussion?
No, it's a discussion
that's what's happening, yeah.
All the room, Chemo.
In the middle of someone else's discussion, why on earth would you say, right, my opinion now should be put forward, and I have to voice it right now? That's why.
It's only an apparent opinion.
We've got to keep some kind of order.
If it's an apparent opinion, then it's apparently allowed. Let's go with that.
It's not. I'm not allowed to give an opinion. But in the middle of a discussion, when we're knee deep in a discussion here, and he's like, "Oh wow, now I've decided we've had enough of this discussion." Hello.
What?
Exactly.
What happened?
We're in the middle of a discussion. Someone jumps in the middle of that. Oh, let's not talk about this is boring. Let's move on to something else. In the middle of a discussion.
You muted him again, didn't you, Chemo?
No.
I'm just thinking I'm letting him speak his piece because I have enough fucking courtesy to let someone have their fucking turn, unlike this fucking cunt.
You thought I muted him.
Hang on. You guys sort your shit out. I've got to go. So
Been saying that for ages, Jizza.
You know, I'm going to fuck off as well because, you know, Chemo's obviously here.
I know.
So I'll fuck off to another server. So this.
No, but I literally have to go. So sort your shit out. I'll be back.
Oh, wait a second. Jazza, if you leave, who's going to speak for us?
Someone muted Dross again.
We can't lose our mouthpiece, Jazza.
Catch you later. I got to go.
Take care, Jazza.
Don't leave us this way, Jazza.
It needs to replenish so we can hit the flat earthers full force, right?
Well, great. Now we have no one to speak for us.
Oh, why is Matt muted? Who's muted Matt? Maybe that was from last time.
Oh, I'm still here, curved. But yeah.
I think Cabow's muted him.
Cabow's muted.
6 years. I mean, I was in the shower thinking, was there a Discord when I was doing the flat Earth things? I don't think there was.
No, there wasn't. Well, there probably was, but we didn't know of it. We didn't use it.
No, there wasn't Discord.
Probably wasn't
a
Discord now then.
Back in the day, there was something called Ventrilo. Vent that people used.
Thank you for thank you whoever unmuted me. Thank you very much.
I am
Appreciate
muted. I don't know why you were muted. Probably you were being
it.
mad.
No, it was all right. I'm not accusing you, Keyman. That was a couple of days ago, and I just haven't been on very much since, so it's all good.
All right.
Back in the day, it was Google Hangouts that we discussed flat Earth on, and Christian fundamentalists.
Yeah, a lot of people still use Hangouts.
I used to use them a lot.
So yeah.
That's not kind of creepy. I used to use it.
Hey, Kimo, I got a question for you. How do they get the satellite images of the hurricane to know exactly where it's going, how big it is?
Just an aeroplane. No big deal.
You got any evidence of that?
What, of an aeroplane? I mean, what else? I mean, what do you mean? What else can it be?
Orbital satellite.
Satellite, what, in space curving around the ball?
Yeah.
Again, there's no geometric horizon for anything to go below it.
So why do you say there's an airplane taking these pictures? How does it get such a wide field view of it?
I haven't even seen the pictures. I'm just even going by your statement that there are pictures being taken. So I'm like, okay, yeah, it's normal. Aeroplanes in the sky or drones.
We had the exact same conversation with the bushfires in Australia. You know,
just high altitude aircraft.
And the satellite images.
I'd like to see some evidence that these are aircraft that are taking these pictures. I want to see how they do that. I want to see like the airplane's path.
How high can
pilot? I want to see like a live stream of it, uncut video of the airplane taking off, taking the picture, and then taking down and dedeveloping the film. I want to see all that.
We're getting a new
picture of the storm every minute.
Yeah, but you're making the claim that they're in a place that doesn't exist.
No, you're making the claim that it's airplanes, not
in a place that exists. Planes work in an area that exists.
Chemo, easily dismissed because we're getting 24-hour non-stop uninterrupted footage of the cyclone. It's not moving. The plane's not moving. It's sitting there for days, months, weeks, years, just sitting there.
Yeah,
what's the logical
saloons. That's what it is.
Logical explanation is a geostationary satellite.
You dumb cunt.
Hey, you're back, Jazza.
Oh, Jesus, back.
Going on. So yeah, Fleur for Nerfa.
But Kimo, how high? Like how high?
The highest
altitude
we can go
airplane?
is around 60 to 70 miles in an aeroplane.
And how do they get a picture of the entire storm every single minute?
Subspace aircraft.
Wide-angle cameras.
The hurricane.
They have a fleet of aircraft and they composite it together. They stitch it all together.
Very simple, yeah. Not hard to
So,
work
Kimo,
out.
you think an aeroplane can fly?
Look, just because you didn't get the job.
60 kilometers? Is that what you said?
Oh yeah,
the balloons.
How high can a high altitude airplane?
Oh yeah,
he actually said 60 miles, not 60 kilometers.
X-15 can go.
Oh
up
yeah,
around,
sorry, miles. Yeah,
X-15 can
yeah,
go
the
up around 60, 70
imperial
miles.
thing. Yeah.
But you can see the shadows of the
70
clouds,
miles.
and they're all
What?
they're all indicating that the photos were taken. The entire photo was taken from the same angle.
Look, Jake just give a suggestion. Multiple planes.
Well, yeah, that would give you shadows in different directions, indicating that there were multiple angles that the image was taken from.
How do you know they don't have a fleet of X-15s that are doing passes, taking pictures, and then they just stitch them together?
Yeah, exactly.
You
know, like
get
I was going to say,
images taken from different angles.
Or you just
X-15 flies 300,000 feet high. You don't think that's high enough?
Or let's say
let's
say balloons can go a little bit higher than those planes. You attach a balloon to a plane. You let the balloon go up a little bit higher with a camera, and you just drag the balloon with the plane. No big deal.
No, it's flying cameras. There's a swarm.
The most
swarm of flying cameras go up to 100,000 feet or so. They all take their pictures, and then they use computer algorithms and software to stitch it all together.
That would just cost so much money, wouldn't it?
From the right angle.
It would just cost so much.
Simulator.
Like 60 million a day, maybe. There would just be so much to do all that, right? A lot of expense.
Yeah, but they're tiny little cameras, so you can't see them from the ground. That's how they hide it.
Yeah, you can't see a plane when it's way up there, 70 miles, can you?
Well, these are just tiny
300,000 feet, these X-15s. They're way up there.
When a rocket goes up, it disappears, you can't see it.
It disappears?
Yeah, you can't see it, can you, once it goes out of sight?
Correct.
Fuck.
Once Red Rhetoric zoomed in as much as he can with his P1000, he zooms in and he's gone. Poof. Can't see it anymore, and then it just turns off.
P1000, so that's the ultimate viewing capability you think you have?
He tracks it as far as he can, and then it's gone.
Chemo.
So,
as the space shuttle entered Earth orbit, we look at it with an infrared camera.
And a rocket is bigger than an aeroplane.
Hey, you're talking over me. You can see the nose and the wings glowing. You can't see anything else.
Yeah, but the rockets are way bigger than airplanes. And you can't.
No, I'm talking about the space shuttle program, and they could track where it's entering Earth orbit with infrared cameras, and you can see.
I'm sure they
nose cone. You can see the nose cone. This goes against your belief system. As it enters the atmosphere, starts to burn up. You can see it start to actually get hot and glow.
Yeah, we know how they do that. They deploy them out of the back of an aeroplane.
No, hang on, Chemo. Who was the pilot in command here? Can I get comms with you?
So Jazza, look, you can do an experiment, Jazza, with your helicopter. Go to the beach. Go when you see the sun setting. Start to hover. As the sun goes down, you should have the Earth move underneath you as the sun is setting. All right?
It's not my problem that you don't understand how shit works, you dumb cunt.
Well, then how did it work then?
Hey, you don't know how leaving works.
Jazza.
You said you were gone, Jazza.
Yeah, but he's back now. Vic.
You lied.
There's no need for insults. There's no need for insults.
It's
not about chemo.
It's not. Yeah, but it's all right though, because you guys have got to get it out of your system, and Jazz is dealing with it the best way he can. And I wouldn't.
You see, chemo. You see what the problem is, right? All these Globers here, they get frustrated, and then they just have to resort to insults because they don't like the fact that they can easily get demolished on these conversations.
Well, no, I don't see it as I think it's a way of releasing the fact that you've been lied to. So Jazza knows deep down, way deep down, he's been lied to. But as I've always said, you can't take it out on the scientists or the NASA astronauts. You take it out on the nearest people to you, which is the flat earthers.
I don't know who that was that was speaking. I mean, I don't know you, but
Jake.
They were saying, getting demolished.
I don't give two fucks.
That's Jake there.
You guys are getting eviscerated. That's why you're mad. That's why you have to resort to names.
No, I don't.
It is effective, making claims with no evidence. And these arguments are being.
Wait, are you trying to deny that we can't just take these photos with a fleet of X-15s?
I just sit down at 212 with fucking evidence.
If they supposedly retired that airplane in the 60s, why is it that North American Aviation has a production line in the 2000s where they're pumping these things out like every 60 seconds they make an X-15?
Yeah, I want to see footage
really?
of X-15s launching every minute to get those photographs.
You dumb fucking cunts.
Well, these are only apparent photographs. These are not actual photographs. They're apparent photographs.
Airbus pumps out an A380 every 10 seconds.
No, maybe not at the moment. The A380 has been proven to be one of the most inefficient airplanes ever designed.
Yeah.
Hence why just about every operator, even pre-COVID, we're starting to retire them, and the 747 is still, in operation.
Yep.
And
Well,
I've got
I
mates
think
that are flying both. The 74 is amazing. 380, yeah, it's quiet.
60
it's
minutes,
nice. It's big.
There's a 60 Minutes episode about that with the auto correction of its level or whatever. That was scary to watch.
I like to, deal with the flat Earth or something.
Well, the A380, the problem is they're trying to move away from hub and spoke, right? They're trying to go point to point. And the A380 was really just a hub and spoke type plane. It only works for a few routes where you need that kind of capacity, right?
Oh no, you need the capacity, but it's not that efficient. That's the problem.
But I think it's pretty efficient if you can fill the whole flight, right?
Yeah, but who wants to sit in an A380 that's got 800 people in it?
Yeah,
whereas
I think it's reasonably efficient even with a multi-class layout. No.
Not compared to the 747. The 747 is even better. The 747, like my mates that have flown the 74 and the 380, like they look at the flight plan and they're like, "What the fuck?" Whereas, seat cost per nautical mile is where you make your money, right? Whereas the 380, it's not that great. And the problem with it is, even if you have a high density configuration, really low seat pitch, and things like that, the 380 is still a big airplane.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the bums
how often do you recalibrate your altimeter?
Shut the fuck up. You don't even know what the fuck that means, so just shut the
fuck up.
I
mean, the conads have to do that every routine or a C-check, right?
The A380 has the room, though, to do all those passenger cabins that the Emirates does, right? Where they pay, a sheik will pay $100,000 for the equivalent of maybe 8 seats of space or 6 seats of space.
Yeah, right? Kima, don't forget.
So Emirates, where you got your sheiks and stuff like that have got shit tons of money. I mean, Emirates are even getting rid of the 380s.
That's sad. That's sad because it's been. I mean, what year was it certified? 2000.
2003, maybe something like that.
So in less than 20 years, that R&D was. I mean, they never even broke even on that, right?
Nah, not that I'm aware of. It's pretty shit from a company